tend to limit Islam. Islam is very vast. But still, for example, if you look at other traditions, other religions, place have a value in their religion as well. In the religion of Native Americans, there is a certain mountain or certain place where they consider that to be the place of worship, where they do not build house, where they do not sell that land. Even today in California, for example, there was a big project that one of the greatest companies, they bought the land and they want to build houses there, new mansions, villas. But they didn't sell a piece of mountain because that was considered to be as sacred to them. It has a value. In Hinduism as well, Tuesday night is of a great value, which they call Purnima, I suppose. Tuesday night is special to them. So, what I'm trying to point out is every day, every makan, everything, every human being have a value. Sadat is more valuable than to non-Sayyid. However, at the same time, what is near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is taqwa. The possibility is there that there is a non-Sayyid who is more muttaqi than a Sayyid. He is more valuable who is a non-Sayyid. But still, outwardly speaking, there are categorizations of things. There are categorizations from the point of view of the value. Now, what is the criteria of the value? Why it becomes valuable? The reason for it becomes valuable is that how close it is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Quran is the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is closest. So it's considered to be the greatest of all books, the greatest of all kalam, du'as, hadith, scholars speaking on the basis of Quran and Sunnah, wisdom, wise man speaking, wise words, wherever it comes from. Knowledge is considered to be the inheritance of Muslims, regardless of who lays the foundation of knowledge. Imam Hassan alayhi salam mentions that during that time where people were trying to reject Greek philosophy, where people were trying to, reject Roman investigation and discoveries, Imam Hassan says knowledge is the inheritance of Muslims. Take it, learn it. Don't limit yourself. Muslims tend to limit oneself, that this is Sharia, this is knowledge, this is Quran, anything outside than that is haram and bid'ah and whatnot, the Talabani style. Knowledge is inheritance of Muslims. So what is valuable is on the basis of how close it is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and what does it bring about. Quran, what does it bring about? When we recite it, what does it bring about? It brings about a nearness to God to us. Not only Quran is valuable, but whoever attaches the Quran becomes valuable, because he becomes closer to God. Thursday night is special because it's near Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what it brings about, it gives us the night an opportunity to communicate, to relate, to create that relationship with God. It becomes easier to relate to God. See, in Islam, time is not linear, as I mentioned it earlier, it's cyclic. It runs in a cycle. So Thursday is the peak of all days, which is near to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then in the whole year, the month of Rajab, Shaban and Ramazan are the peak of nearness that will create the nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why it's considered to be the month of haram, as in dua of the day of night of Mab'as we recite that Allahumma wa hada Rajabul Mukarram alladhi akramtana bih awwala ashhuril huram. Allahumma, oh Allah, this month is the month of Rajab al-Mukarram alladhi akramtana, that you have honored it, and it has considered to be the awwala ashhurul huram, the first month of haram. So Rajab, Shaban and Ramazan in the whole year is valuable. Why? It provides us that ground that we can relate to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then in this month of Rajab as well, there is a time of peak. That's the pinnacle point where there is the ouge of the month of Rajab, which is the 27th of Rajab, which is today. In the whole month. See, in the whole week, one day is valuable, Jummah, through which one night is valuable, the night of Thursday. In the whole year, Rajab, Shaban and Ramadan are valuable, the greatest of all months. During the hours of the day, the times of Salat are valuable, because it's creating that, is giving us the opportunity to relate to God. In the month of Rajab, one day is valuable. That is the peak of the month, which is the day of Mab'as. In the month of Sha'ban, one day and one night, the 15th is valuable. In the month of Ramadan, the night of Qadr is valuable. So it's giving us that opportunity to link to God, to create a relationship to God. It makes it easier for us. It's doing that, and it has value by itself as well. It has an essential value to it. I mean, Quran is not just valuable because it allows us to come closer to God by recitation or by implementation of it. No. By essence, it has a value as well. We have to respect the Quran. Regardless we recite, we do not recite. So by essence, it has a value. So therefore, the day of Mab'as, which is they have that aspect. Now, that's one. Recite one.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Then look at this beautiful dua that we are supposed to recite on the eve of Mab'as. Allahumma inni as'aluka bit-tajalli al-azam. O subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of that tajalli, for the sake of that, tajalli means manifestation, it means theory, philosophically speaking or mystically speaking. Reflection. When we see ourselves in the mirror, it is tajalli in the mirror. See, to make it simple, it's tajalli. So he said, Allahumma inni as'aluka bit tajalli al-azam. We are Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to that, for the sake of that greatest azam, for the sake of that greatest tajalli that took place on that night, which is in the early hours of Mab'as of today. What took place? Mab'as, Iqra, bringing of the Quran. Because see, and the way we understand reality on the basis of Islam, on the basis has been taught to us by the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. There are different levels of understanding Islam or understanding reality. But we are talking about that reality which is considered to be irfani reality. How is the reality of things? The things around us that we see, but tajalli of that. You know, Allah is doing tajalli to its creation, by its creation. The Quran says, where you Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These are the faces and forms and reflections, manifestations of God. That's an irfani approach towards the reality that we are seeing. So what we are seeing, nothing of different names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How the reflection of these names are in terms of its value or in terms of